Hi, this is Natalie Lander, voice of Kinsey, Tara Branford, Stargirl, and many others. You are listening to a W2Mnet podcast. You can visit W2Mnet.com for other podcasts about entertainment, video games, sports, and wrestling.
Oh wait, this thing still works. Oh, alright. Good afternoon, evening, or whenever you happen to be listening, Harry.
Close enough.
Yes, we're back, and this is Life is Like a Game Show. Oh, feels good to finally say those words again.
This is what happens when you run a summer block and it finally arrives. You're finally relevant again.
Well, I mean, with that, between everything going on, teams that should be losing in respective sports, teams that should be winning, not doing so in respective sports, people going and eating at establishments that I watch on TV at a very regular basis, sitting there looking all smug, things tend to happen. No, I'm not bitter. Who said I was bitter or angry or anything?
Erik, you're Amtrakking, man. Careful.
How about we start by actually introducing yourself?
Yes. I'm pretty sure, since it's everybody in public who deals with me and I actually have to speak with them, you should know my voice by now. But if you don't, I wouldn't say the host with the most, well, technically inside the bedroom, but that's not important yet. Stay tuned on that.
Family show.
Wait, I'm sorry, what? What? That phrase has no meaning here. Yes, as I am your not whatsoever fearless leader, that is the voice of reason for the kickoff, but we're not on the kickoff, are we, Harry Broadhurst?
No, we're not, and I'm thankful for that because, frankly, I host enough podcasts in a given week. This one, the reins are more or less all yours.
No, well, fair point. Just be glad that I'm not as drunk as I have been in past episodes. Yet.
Yes.
Give Randy time, you'll find your way there.
Yeah, well, time plus I'm going to need some hot water to kind of speed up a thawing process of a frozen drink. But to the man who, on an audio podcast, for now, holding up a not frozen drink, the one, the only JTN himself, Jonathan Nielsen.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, and thankfully being, for once, outside of football, supporting a team that is doing very well on its own, advancing in terms of a sport where fights are known to break out. More on that on the Facebook side of things.
Boston
on my right,
gonna whoop your ass so many different ways, and I will love to see it.
On my right, we unfortunately have the long shot block on our way to $25,000 in cash. The one, the only, the rancid, the repulsive, the insert another word beginning with an R here, Randy Isbell.
And just to be clear, the beef Wellington at Hell's Kitchen was absolutely phenomenal, Erik.
Oh, fuck you. Just fuck you, okay? You know damn well that is my favorite dish in that kitchen.
Oh, Mr. Erik Watkins, I will remind you, I believe you still might have a couple of lifelines in the bank from the last round.
You know what? I have one, but there's a few more that have been accrued now that I think about it.
We can ask the experts finally? Oh, wait, we are the experts.
Exactly. And just be very, very careful that the next dish you eat at Hell's Kitchen isn't with a wooden spoon.
It's very likely the way that's going.
And for those of you who take the time to listen to R&R Sports Report or visit the R&R Sports Report Facebook page, you can also find them on YouTube throughout the summer. You know what we're talking about with this. You know.
Have you gotten your ass beat in tennis yet? That is what inquiring minds want to know.
3 weeks. 3 weeks it happens.
Will it be live streamed?
If not live stream, we're still working on that. It's either going to be live streamed or at least recorded to make highlights or lowlights in our case.
Definitely lowlights. All right, enough lollygagging, Eric. Let's get to it.
All right. Well, as we return, we are finally resuming our bracket of the greatest game shows of all time. Oh, thankfully, I'm not going to be as salty as in previous rounds, but let's give a brief refresher, since it's at least been a while for us, where we've left off.
Well, I think the easiest way to do that refresher would be to actually just get into the bracketology itself. Would it not, Mr. Isbell?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's just get right into it. I will go through the matchups as we go along. We have made it through an entire round. We are down to the final 32, and all of these matchups, just to remind you three, were created now by you. I had nothing to do with this. You made this happen, so don't yell at me.
No. Don't try to pull a Dave Damashek on us all of a sudden. No, you still had your hand in this.
Yeah.
All right.
If anybody knows about pulling a Damashek, it would be me in a shame report. Right, Eric? The old fantasy league that is long defunct that needs to come back?
I mean, the way that things are going, especially with other platforms, maybe stay tuned? Get the band back together?
Shall we start with the same bracket that we started in the first round?
I say we take a Las Vegas gambit. Your call, Randy. We'll be nice. Once.
All right, I'll take it. Let's start with the team bracket. Round number 2. Your first matchup. The 1 seed Family Feud versus the 8 seed Supermarket Sweep.
Real quick, a brief reminder to the people joining us late of who each of these shows beat in the first round, Mr. Isbell.
Now you got to go back and listen.
Yeah, start from the pilot. That's where the true action is.
See, as we would say in the world of mathematics, that exercise is left to the listener.
Indeed.
I remember who Family Feud beat because I remember saying that the show that Family Feud beat was actually a better version of Family Feud.
In your opinion?
No, because I cast the deciding vote in that game and gave it to Family Feud.
All right, Feud versus Sweep.
Okay, so this is going to be one of those ones to me. I'm going to go first here. We'll rotate throughout the course of these shows here because me constantly going first last time kind of put us in some awkward situations. So we'll go by last name. So I'll start this one here, and then you get to start the next match, John, and then Eric will start the third match, and then we'll continue in that repetitive order.
So, to steal a line from another show, leading off, Mr. Broadhurst.
Okay, so my thing about this is going to be a case of the current version of a show hurting a show enough that it probably costed a match. I loved Supermarket Sweep as a kid. Thought it was absolutely fantastic, and that lifetime block from 6 to 7 every night with Supermarket Sweep and Shop Till You Drop was must-see TV for me. I would watch it every night, and then I would switch over to Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune at 7:30 and 7 respectively. Wheel aired first in my market. I know it's card subject to change in other markets.
The nostalgia.
The Leslie Jones version of Supermarket Sweep is garbage. The Steve Harvey version of Family Feud may very well be its best incarnation. That is a debate to have on the Family Feud episode that will forthcome in the future.
Them's going to be fighting words when that happens.
Hashtag vibrator. That's all I'm saying.
That's a who's who of heavy hitters when it comes to game show hosts there. And Louis Anderson's around too. But in terms of the show overall, though, yeah, I think the modernization of Supermarket Sweep hurts it to the point that I got to go with the number one seed here. Goliath advances. I take Family Feud. Mr. Nielsen.
I can't fault you. I cannot fault you. However much it hurts me to vote against a show announced by the only game show announcer I have met in person, the best, Randy West. Survey says number one answer, Family Feud.
We don't like Randy's on this show. They're rancid, they're repugnant, they're repulsive, they're ridiculous.
No, we don't. We only like Randy's that don't go ahead and not have proper Vegas experiences, yet still brag about them anyways.
He's married. Leave him alone. Well, not married, dating-ish, I guess, kind of. I don't know what's going on there. Erik.
All I'm saying is that there are ways that you can account for that as well, and everybody will win. But
is Sweep getting swept?
Yes, indeed it is. Now, throughout all the incarnations and all the hosts of Family Feud, there were subtle tweaks, but they were just that, subtle. Some very minor changes here and there to the gameplay. Every host had its own spin, but you knew what you were signing up for. With Supermarket Sweep, they went way too over the top, a little too comedic, kind of hokey to suit Leslie Jones, and to me, it just flat out did not work. I tried, it failed. Give me Family Feud. I'm sorry.
Also, I think Al Howard is rumored to be somewhat of a dick too in some circles. So Mark Goodson is the better man.
Real quick here to Erik's point there, one could argue that the new version of Supermarket Sweep actually damages the integrity of the original.
Completely agreed. 100%. And I knew I was putting myself out there for taking heat for basically shitting all over it. But the more that it's gone on, the more I feel justified. And I know I'm not alone.
Sometimes the show shits on itself.
Thank you.
Sadly, it's getting a second season, too, just recently renewed at ABC.
Well, I mean, ABC, they can't be perfect. They've given us a lot of gems, so I'm willing to forgive them one.
That's fair. All right, Randy, Family Feud moves on.
All right, the next matchup's going to be a fun one. The 4-seed Cash Cab versus the 5-seed Pyramid.
Oh, and I'm leading this one off. Oh, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. Ben Bailey's gonna have to pull this one over. 1G12 just does not have the stopping power to get the Pyramid dislodged from its schemes.
Nor does the 7G78.
I mean, come on. I'm originally from New York. I know about a city cab. Probably more than anybody else around you. But Billy Crystal, 26 seconds. Come on, man.
Apologies to any and all New Yorkers we may have offended with that.
They're New Yorkers that used to being offended.
Exactly. Like Ardal O'Hanlon said, the best thing about New York is the diversity. You never knew there were so many ways to say fuck you.
Literally a dump. Fresh kills. Anybody? Get the reference? You get the reference.
Have I ever shared my West Virginia?
But the Pyramid is a legend. Multi-decades. I just can't go against it. Somebody take this, please.
Erik, you're up.
I mean, I have to agree. As much as I love Cash Cab, I enjoy Cash Cab. John and I have even planned a trip, and we may or may not have initially hatched a scheme to find ourselves on Cash Cab. How can you argue against Pyramid? It's at another level of nostalgia, even watching the reruns of the $100,000 Pyramid episodes on GSN every day and seeing those old tournaments. And you always wondered, how many people would come close to Billy Crystal's record. I think there was only one other contestant that did it in under 30. So, even then, with another show that, yes, tried to go over the top and make some tweaks, they brought it back with the Strahan version. So they knew, hey, this is what works. This is what we're going to stick with. And it's paid off. I got to go Pyramid. Sorry.
So are you guys familiar with the concept from our first round called the pity vote?
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm going to go ahead and throw one out here for Cash Cap because I actually really enjoy that show.
It's a good show. It's victim of the bracket.
It's 100% out of its depth against Pyramid. I don't disagree. But for the entertainment value that Cash Cap provides in and of itself with the nature of the show and the fact that it's kind of basically like bar trivia, but on wheels. I like that. I like the idea of like that whole common man of the people kind of situation that they have going on, that you never know who's going to show up inside of the cab itself. It's random ass people from a random ass cab. Well, not so random. People know the cab now, but.
And you never know when the cab's going to pull over and you, Joe Schmo on the street, is going to get asked a question from the cab itself.
And not to mention the fact that they even did their celebrity version quite well.
So, with all due respect to Pyramid, which is deservedly advancing, this pity vote is for you, Cash Cab. Arrivederci and farewell. We'll see you when you get your full episode dedicated to you.
But for now, you get to sit in a red light. Next.
And unmuting.
Unmute your mic, Randy.
I don't want to unmute my mic.
Rancid muted his
Well,
bell.
that's what happens when I'm over here working on other stuff. All right.
So am I, but I'm paying attention.
The 3 seed, the weakest link,
I'm eating.
versus the 6 seed, password.
Mr. Watkins, lead us off with a 71. Sorry.
And the thing is, I'm officially calling. I reserve the right to change my mind and forever regret this, especially with the recent news with Jimmy Fallon coming out with the version of Password. Now, I know he's done proper justice with a lot of these shows. And it's also a battle of icons.
Who's breathing into their mic?
I was eating. I just finished. I'm good. I'm sorry. Continue.
This is another one of those battle of icons, because I have raved about Jane Lynch properly picking up the torch with his latest version of The Weakest Link. I'm not going to pull a card from before and defer my vote, but on a knife edge, that knife edge being personal experience with this show, hosting this show, and being a common contestant of this show, Password.
So we're actually going to have to make our first decision of this broadcast, Mr. Nielsen. And the reason I say that is because I am choosing the weakest link. And I think a lot of that is going to have to do with the fact that I am a product of a weakest link generation. I am not a product of a password generation. I grew up watching the original version of The Weakest Link with Ann Robinson as the host here in America when I was a teenager. So there is a nostalgic feel to it for me. Me and Erik have watched all but like 2 episodes of the Jane Lynch hosted version of The Weakest Link.
Mm-hmm.
And completely agreed that Jane Lynch has absolutely knocked it out of the park as the host. I'm curious to see what Mr. Fallon is going to do. And like Erik said, Jimmy has done an incredible service to classic shows with his game show segment that he does on his Tonight Show. I am a fan of Jimmy Fallon's. I think he's a very entertaining man. I worry about them leaning too much into the comedy with Fallon as the host of Password, because Password tends to be a more serious in nature show. Also, depending on what variation of Password they decide to bring back, as we talked about in the group chat. I'm sure JTN will expand upon that here in a few moments.
Oh, yeah.
My official vote for this is going to be the weakest link. Mr. Nielsen, you break the tie.
I am honored to break this tie, actually. Because while you say you are not of a password generation, every generation is a password generation.
Mm-hmm.
Because it covers the 60s on CBS. It covers the 70s on ABC. It covers the 80s with Password Plus and Super Password of Bert Convy. Which, I have to stop my argument right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because Super Password did not last till 1990.
Nope. 83 to 89?
84 to 89.
84 to 89.
Oh, screw it. I'll give it 90 on reruns.
Because, I mean, even with Password Plus, that one season, but it was the 79-80 season, so...
That is malarkey, but continue.
But you've also got the $1 million password with the Reach. Okay, 2010s, you can sort of give Jimmy Fallon a check in the box doing it on The Tonight Show. But also, this will be the first time Password makes its way to NBC. CBS, ABC, NBC's, it bats the cycle. Weakest link is the weakest link. Goodbye.
Well, this is the first Password version to air on NBC. Both Password Plus and Super Password were NBC shows.
Still like Erik.
The cycle.
Erik should have voted for weakest link, and we would have been done with this.
Well, we'll see who Password gets to face in the next round. Next, please.
Our first upset of the day, the 6 over the 3.
Yeah, we had the 5 over the 4. Is that upset? I don't know how.
Mildly. Mild.
We'll
4-5s are usually coin flips.
We will see if we get another upset here. As you get the 2 seed, the Newlywed Game, versus the 7 seed, Bumper Stumpers.
I have to start, and I don't particularly care for either show. Sorry, Erik. I watched a couple episodes of Bumper Stumpers. It didn't stick out to me.
Al Dubois, man.
Glares in French Canadian.
I don't know. Like there are certain Canadian game shows that connect it with me. Have you ever heard of a game show called Jackpot?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed going back and watching old episodes of that on YouTube. I random ass found it on a day. I forget what day. It was a couple of months ago, and I gave it a shot, and they had like a full week of episodes. And legit, my ass sat there for an hour and 20 minutes watching all 5 episodes because the show was very entertaining to me. The concept was fantastic.
Great concept, but kind of hit or miss with me. Usually after one episode with me, it goes a long way.
Newlywed Game is one of those things like, yeah, you get the jokes with it, but nothing from that show really sticks. Like, it had a few moments here and there where, like, okay, and for their time, they were really funny. But when you think about iconic game show moments, none of the Newlywed Game show moments are up there. Like I said,
one, but not iconic in the way you would think.
And Bumper Stumpers literally left no lasting impression on me, Erik. I'm sorry. I know it's one of your favorite game shows. To me, this is going to come down to which show have I watched more of. And the answer to that question is, and barely, I'm going to advance Newlywed Game here.
And I've got to sit over here thinking...
Break his heart.
Yeah, Newlywed is good. It made Bob Eubanks a household name. Dating shows just personally never hit a chord. Then again, I have been single for over 10 years, so there might be a reason to that. But I'm a man who likes, like his professional wrestling, a good gimmick. Bumper Stumpers had a unique gimmick, and nobody's done it since. Mind you, their cash payouts for winners were absolute garbage.
Again, blame Canada for that.
But I feel we got to keep some CanCon over here on the podcast. So I'm going to give the nod to Bumper Stumpers and put Mr. Watkins in a crucial countdown-esque conundrum.
No, it's not. This is a cakewalk for him.
Exactly. And for those of you who have been longtime listeners of my podcast, throwing it back all the way to Soccer to the Max, you know that a conundrum with me is something entirely different. This wouldn't even count as something like that. Yes, the Newlywed Game did have their moment of infamy back in 1977. I highly suggest you Google that clip. But aside from that, it's like, okay, you seen one, you kind of seen them all. Plus, for as much as I have already talked about Bumper Stumpers in past episodes, how it got here, I'm damn sure not turning my back on it now. Big Al, your Bumper Stumpers pal, everybody north of the border, that even includes those who will hopefully, if I ever make a trip up there, which I am planning, please locate me the best 5-pin bowling alley in your area. Yes, Randy, that is still going to be a thing. Bumper Stumper stays. We fly the maple leaf around these parts too.
You find duck pins, we're going to have a meetup.
Sorry, 5-pin greater than duck pin. Fight me.
Erik?
Is
it the clip I'm seeing here on Google? Because I don't think you could say that in 1977 on network television.
No, you couldn't. That's the clip. That's the one.
Noted.
Also, note to future times when we listen back to these podcasts, we got to review Let's Bowl.
Damn it, now that theme song is stuck in my head.
You seriously trying to get me to do a bowling game show?
It was actually pretty good.
Randy, help.
All right, so there you go. Those are our first 4 into the Sweet 16, Family Feud, Pyramid, Password, and Bumper Stumpers.
Real quick. We're not trying to get sued here. That is the Super 16.
It's the Sweetness 16. I don't know. We'll come up something.
Yeah. I mean, with that other one,
technically... It's a power 2 as opposed to a power 10. Next.
Yeah. Exactly, because the basketball tournament, I want to stay on good terms with them too. So yeah, Harry.
Super 16.
All right, let's move to the stunt bracket, and started off with the 8 seed Double Dare and the 16 seed Hole in the Wall.
Well, yeah, because you tried to put frickin' Survivor as a game show.
Is there a winner? Are there contestants? Are they playing a game? Is it a show?
It is very loosely a game.
It's 100% a game.
Whoa! I'm sorry.
It's about as loose. It's about as loose as the possibility of having a decent hockey team in South Florida. Bang! Shots fired.
Win one playoff series in your own damn building right before you move, and you never hear the end of it.
First time in a very long time we've done that in the old barn.
Okay, I need you to repeat the matchup here, Randy, because I forgot it already.
Double Dare, Hole in the Wall.
Okay, thank you. John, I believe you start this one.
Now, I'm going to ask a question. And if you don't know the answer or think the other team doesn't have a clue, you could dare them to answer for double the dollars. But be careful, because the other team could always double dare you back, at which point you either have to answer the question or take the physical challenge. Hole in the wall, yes. Again, what I said about gimmicks, but I find there's a hole in the argument of that show. For the fact also that it was helping Mark Summers overcome a mental health issue.
Mm-hmm.
Double Dare. It's got to be. This is a no-brainer for me.
As much as we have talked about international-based shows, and yes, I do consider Canada international, same thing with Hole in the Wall in Japan. And I love me some Japanese game shows. Do not get me wrong whatsoever. But when you have a show that goes back in your personal history to when you were born, when you're going back in your childhood and looking at different iterations, including the original Family Double Dare,
Mm-hmm.
and the obstacle course,
Mm-hmm.
the pizza, picking the nose, you had some icons just in of itself, just in the obstacle course. To me, I gotta make it official. I'm going Double Dare on this one.
Well, not that my vote matters. This is the second time this has happened, and as many times with Jonathan going first. So, screw both of you. Thank you for that. Appreciate it, really. Erik,
you determined the order, just saying.
I did, so it's kind of on me. Erik, do you ever watch Dude Perfect?
Yeah.
They actually do a hole in the wall bit on Dude Perfect.
That kind of helps the argument for Double Dare, if anything. Nothing against Dude Perfect, but...
Sorry to interrupt, but, Erik, since, more your content, you had Mark Summers.
Mm-hmm.
You had Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
We have somebody who I forgot to mention last time also. You had Robin.
True.
Continue, Harry.
An ESPN notification cut off part of what you just said there. Something tells me I probably am better for it.
Robin.
Yeah. Does nothing for me.
Folks, we try here. We try.
I have Google. I know how to use it. Give me a moment. Anyways, once again, much the same way I did for Cash Cab, I'm going to end up throwing out a pity vote here for Hole in the Wall, because I genuinely prefer that show to Double Dare. And if anything, we can all agree on this. Hole in the Wall deserved to kick Survivor's ass.
Yeah, because Survivor, no, don't go shaking your head, Randy. You know damn well Survivor's as rigged, as scripted as anything else out there. And yeah, I even have a T-shirt.
Okay, hold on. We want to go that argument. I could. How many of these game shows can I go through and say it's scripted?
That stopped in the 50s, sir. Need we go on the history lesson again?
We will pull standards and practices on your ass.
Robin Morella. Okay, I see your point.
You've seen the light, and it is good.
By early 90s standards, I understand it.
Thank you.
I mean, not really my cup of tea. I'm not really into blondes, but I can see your point. There are certain assets that are definitely attractivating towards that particular show.
Not to mention, you even make exceptions on that blondes argument, so yeah.
I 100% just made up a word there. They are attractivating.
So quote game show host Craig Ferguson on his late night show, CBS cares.
Are we ready to move on?
I think so, yeah.
I would imagine so. Robin Russo nowadays, by the way, if anybody was interested in finding out what she's up to. Go ahead, Randy.
Couple of upsets. Which one moves on? The 12 seed Legends of the Hidden Temple, or the 13 seed Holy Moly?
Legends. Oh, wait, we actually have to do this. Sorry. Erik?
Yeah. I mean, and this is another one that I'm really interested to watch, like the kind of adult reboot for this one, but I have said it before, I will say it again. Green monkeys all day. And as much as I love Holy Moly, Legends, it's the higher seed for a reason. It goes through with me.
Barely, it's a 12 versus 13 here because Randy fucked this bracket up sideways.
Mr. Known for audio cues as needed. There is a YouTube thing that might need to be looked up. There is a nice, clean version of a nice 3-minute timer, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. You have sent
the hardest
that
3
version.
minutes in game show history. I would put my foot down on that one.
Hey, it's
one.
My turn here. You wait your turn over there, Nielsen.
Yeah, you blew your load early too, Broadhurst, so you're both guilty.
Okay, yeah,
Power 10.
That is kind of the pot calling the kettle a blue barracuda, isn't it?
Purple parrot. Come on, man.
Purple what now?
Parrots. Purple parrots.
I think we can all agree that the Silver Snakes were a bunch of cheaters.
Agreed.
Them's facts, though. No, this is a clean sweep to me. This is Legends all day.
More reason why Solitary should have beat Holy Moly. That's all I'm saying.
It's
brought us a random ass game show that was basically a torture show masked as a game show.
So good. Absolutely so good.
Cram should have made the list.
It was saw as a game show.
Yep. I'm not denying that. It was great. All right. I think this might be the best matchup we're doing on this episode.
Real quick, can I point out what we've learned on this episode? Apparently, Repugnant Randy is also a sociopath.
I'm on this show, aren't I?
I mean, not to mention all the stuff, but no, I've had moments where I've gotten my revenge on his turf, so it's even. We have our ways.
I want to save this for the last one, because I think this is going to be the main event. So let's move down here.
You're going to pull the audible, okay.
I'm pulling the audible. Let's go the 7 seed Wipeout against the 15 seed Floor is Lava.
Although before that, speaking of which, you know where you can listen to Audible? On your Alexa-enabled devices. Audible is available as an app on your Alexa-enabled devices. You know what else you can listen to on your Alexa-enabled devices? The W2M Network. By searching for the W2M Network on any Alexa-enabled device, go to getamazonmusic.com/W2M Network for a free 30-day trial, and you can listen to all of the newest episodes from the W2M Network. Life is Like a Game Show, The Kickoff, Chapter Select, Football and Soccer to the Max. Well, I guess Soccer to the Max when it's around.
You can consider Football and Soccer to the Max the way of the dodo bird, but you can, especially if you get said trial of Amazon Music Unlimited. You can listen to Black Irish just as well. New episode coming up too.
And everything from the Rattlegion Broadcasting Network as well that is simulcast through the W2M Network. That is available on getamazonmusic.com/W2M Network for your free 30-day trial, or by searching for the W2M Network on any Alexa-enabled device. Mr. Isbell, you may announce the pairing now.
You already did.
I did, but I could do it again. It is the 7 seed Wipeout and the 15 seed Floor is Lava.
Harry, I got a question for you.
You have a question for me?
I have a question for you.
Okay.
How have you come so good at segues to go from voting down Holy Moly to Polo Holy Foley to give a cheap pop like that?
Jason would be proud. Is all I'm going to say about that segue.
Oh, whose turn is it?
It's Erik's turn to start with this particular pairing, actually.
And he just stepped out, so somebody else start.
First he did. All right,
He noped out on that one.
I'll go first on this one. So Floor is Lava is an interesting concept, and I do like the fact that it got a second season at Netflix. I don't know if you saw that news or not. They did give Floor is Lava a second season. So it'll be interesting to see what changes and tweaks to the format that they make now that they know what worked, what didn't work, and how the episodes in general did in terms of the overall viewership. I watched a couple of the episodes. I did not watch the full run just because the concept got kind of repetitive. And I think that's maybe the issue with a show like that.
What about shameful? But I don't have Netflix. I haven't seen it.
Shame.
I mean, but are you really missing much, though?
Well, it did beat The Amazing Race, which, again, not a game show!
As much of a game show as some of these.
But, no, in terms of the actual head-to-head matchup here, I don't think this one's close. I think this is Wipeout.
Flight Price, Orlando, Idaho.
I will give credit to Floor is Lava for one thing, Erik. They have not killed anybody this season.
Well, I mean, obviously. But I mean, for all the things that Netflix has done, and for all the Netflix shows that I appreciate, including Love, Death, and Robots, even with John Cena, Wipeout wins this matchup.
If it was the Tamarkin Wipeout, I know what I'm talking about. Still, didn't see the John Cena coming.
Actually, that Tamarkin version of Wipeout's really entertaining. I've been watching old versions of that on YouTube lately, too. It's one of the ones that popped up on that classic game show feed I have.
Oh, Roku has some interesting classic game show apps if you have a Roku device.
I do. We're going to have to talk off air, Mr. Nielsen.
Definitely. I've done some hunting recently. Found some gems.
Well, I actually got myself a second Roku device, so I have one right in the den now. And yeah, I've seen a few different classic game shows on a couple of channels at 2 a.m. recently. Not gonna lie.
There's going to be some conversating about this off air because of potential legality issues that I do not wish to get the show involved with. It's 2-0 Wipeout, so technically, John, your vote here doesn't really matter. But you don't have anyway.
I have been made Mr. Irrelevant.
How's it feel?
Here. How do you do this all the time, Randy? Or Harry, rather.
Wow.
Randy does this, but
now I went from irrelevant Randy. What the hell?
Talking about half the time here, and he's just hearing us rambling on.
Look, you can all just share the Lozman trophy and be on with it, okay?
I heard that, Isabel. That was pretty good, actually.
Thank you.
I'll deny the sweep and throw the pity vote to Floor is Lava. You've got to give the young upstart network its due. Even if it is the Fox of the new era. Bang, bang, shots fired. Yeah, you heard me. Bring it.
So what? Would that make Hulu the WB? Or the UPN?
Hold on. It would make it the WWWWB.
Make it WPIX New York before the merger.
I popped Erik with the frog.
Next.
All right, let's get to the main event of this episode. This will be fun. The 3 seed, American Gladiators, and the 6 seed, Fear Factor.
Bastard.
Yeah, I think this is going to depend on your preference. Well, I don't get to go first here anyway. It's Mr. Nielsen's turn to go first, so I'll save my comment towards. Oh God, I just put myself in a position to have to break a tie. Damn it!
Do I need to read the Gladiator list again? You know what I'm going to vote here.
That's fair. Siren could get it.
You go at what you said it earlier. You go at what you grew up on. I grew up on Gladiators. Hogan be damned. The original still holds mustard to this day.
Well, outside of her turn towards the racism of it all, Gina Carano as Crush could have gotten it something serious too.
Look. Wait, no, because I am going to say something that's weird even by my own standards. So I'm going to shut up. I don't do that often, but there was that voice in my head that's just like, no. I listen to that voice because that voice, I don't hear it that often.
For those of you who can't see, because Harry, say your famous catchphrase about audio podcasts.
Yeah, it's a visual. It's well, technically it would be air quotes on an audio podcast, but you're not air quoting. You're guessing. What I was about to say before my internet took a shit on me there for a second there was, let this sink in, dear listener. Erik decided that something was too vulgar for him to say.
I wouldn't say vulgar, but
Prove it.
As someone who's already had a video taken off of YouTube.
Okay, now I want you to send me what you were going to say in Messenger, so please do that.
More on this after the show.
The post game version of this episode is going to be a whole lot more interesting than the broadcast edition.
Oh God, yeah.
So we're sitting on one
All right.
already.
Yep, Erik, you got the second vote here.
Now, as someone, I did not grow up on the original American Gladiators. To me, Fear Factor came first, but I did see the Hogan version of Gladiators, so I have experience with both. It was very narrow because...
But okay.
Wait, what?
I figured as a big Dolphins fan, you'd follow Larry Zonk and watch the original, but okay.
Yeah, but again, that was even before I even had any of my Dolphins or really even sports fandom to begin with.
Wait, how the fuck am I just now finding out you were a Dolphins fan?
You have any idea exactly how lean some of those Jaguars years after the mid-90s were? Not to mention I was very impressionable.
That's bullshit, sir. That's homie hopping. That's a party foul.
Well, I mean, technically, the Jaguars didn't exist until I was 9, so relevant?
I gotta give it to him on that one.
Yes, those first 9 years, fine. But if you were a Jaguars fan after that, you can't homie hop between teams, Erik. That's a party foul.
Also fair. As much, though, as I liked Fear Factor, after a while, even it began to wear on me. Now, in seeing some of the original Gladiators, I did appreciate it. And seeing the Hogan version of Gladiators, that never wore on me. And yes, there is a message forthcoming, Harry. I haven't forgotten. So, you thought that you were going to be in a position to break a tie, but even if it were to come down to a pity vote for Fear Factor, I'm sorry, I can't. I gotta go Gladiators.
Okay, so I'm not in a position to break a tie here, and I'm glad that I'm not, because I'm going to clean sweep it.
We're blowing right through the
Here's the thing with Fear Factor. Here's the thing with Fear Factor. I think Fear Factor was an excellent game show for its time. However, it does not hold up well. I think American Gladiators, in terms of the sheer athleticism and competition involved, holds up much better than Fear Factor does upon repeated viewings.
Agreed.
And to me, that is the deciding factor in this vote. Which of these two shows would I be more likely to go back and watch repeats of? The answer is American Gladiators. The sweep is complete.
And Harry, message sent.
I saw. I can't look right now because it'll kick me off Skype because my phone's a dick, but you know. I will look in a second.
Okay.
Holy crap, we did that in an hour?
Hold on. We're not done yet, though. You know what else? So we just mentioned get Amazon Music, Erik. You know there's somewhere else that you can get a nice little plug, courtesy of your friends here at the W2M Network.
Well, I mean, obviously, when you're communicating, you always want to try to put your best foot forward, especially in the written form. Be it messages that you would rather not get out in an audio format, to anything like a resume, an angry tweet, a hate mail to s.garmer@gmail.com, a resume, even just, emails to loved ones who happen to be halfway across the world. You always want to just show that you do your best. And what will help you with that? Grammarly. I mean, we could talk about the standalone app or that software. We could talk about the extension with Chrome. We could talk about the premium features to where you have so many features just beyond spell check to getting your different tone, complex grammar issues, sentence clarity, all sorts of different things, errors that you can sit right there and let Grammarly teach you about and have correct for you just at the snap of a finger. And if you want to get access to all of these features, you can just get the ball rolling by going to getgrammarly.com/W2M network and begin your free trial. You won't regret it. Trust me on that one.
Yeah, you could even sound like a credible source, which, of course, for you academics, Wikipedia, not a credible source.
Nope. Credible source for game shows, but not for academic papers.
I think we've hit all the high spots here. Randy, go ahead and wrap us up for this episode.
Oh, no, there is one point that we have not hit yet. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you know how we have to end the game show segment here in talking about the content of the podcast.
Oh, because we still
Help
have to
control the podcast producer population. Make sure
we have to do.
Now we can continue.
You do again. Did we not discuss going too early? There's some things in life that are just better not premature.
We have to do our plugs before we do that part, John.
Hey, I voted for Power at 10, which did blow the load early. My bad.
I mean, see, you realize it's gotten to the point where he doesn't have much to celebrate, so he celebrates too soon. We get that.
It's all right. The Bruins are going to make the Islanders their bitch in 4 anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Pasta runs on Dunkin', and so do I. Now, granted, we are not paid sponsors of Dunkin', but we easily could be. For as we always say on the kickoff and other shows on the W2M network, we can't be bought.
But we can damn sure be rented. Thank you, Erik.
You're welcome. Had to set you up for that one.
Where can people find you online, Randy?
You can find me at Randy Isbell on Twitter. Also check out Chapter Select, a video game and movie podcast that I do with Jens on the W2M network. And every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, check out Robert and I on the R&R Sports Report on both Facebook and YouTube.
Or on klcz.com as well.
Not until the fall.
Oh, well, yes, I guess school's out of session, huh?
Yep, summer break.
Okay, so then Facebook and YouTube only for now. All right, my bad. But if they were on klcz.com, you could listen to them on 88.9 locally in Lewiston, Idaho, or Clarksville, Washington?
Clarkston, yep.
Okay. Thank you. I sit corrected, as it were. JTN, where can people find you online?
People can find me over on the Twitch, JTN2002. Also got the Tweety Box by the same handle. Now, if you are a close personal friend of the JTN, there's also a Facebook, but there's a vetting process. It's not as extensive as Mr. Watkins' vetting process, but there is one there. Speaking of that process, segue.
Stepping all over everyone's toes on the end of this broadcast, aren't you? I will let the host go last, and I'll go ahead and go first here. I am at ATB the Eagle on pretty much every social media possible, with the exception of TikTok and Snapchat. Still not happening, Erik.
Oh. I'm saying, You're going to find your way there one way or another. You're missing out. Just, there's things.
Let me do one more step. Also, JTN 2002 on TikTok, believe it or not. I don't have any content posted, but I'm there.
Let's cue this up again. At ATBD Eagle on pretty much any one of your social media platforms that you would want to find me on. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Yahoo. That is actually it. But remember, hate mail to s.garmer@gmail.com. Everybody knows that. In addition, you can find me on 411 Mania's wrestling section now as a weekly contributor to the 3 R's for NXT. Tony Acero, longtime mainstay at 411, has brought back the 3 R's as a tribute to the departed Larry Zonka, who we lost about a year ago, earlier this week, actually. And one of Larry's classic columns was the 3 R's, the right, the wrong, and the ridiculous. Yes, we know wrong is spelled with a W, but the R is capitalized because gimmicks. Somebody likes gimmicks on this show, don't you, Jonathan? Anyway.
Yes, I do.
Not to mention the W is silent, so that's still acceptable.
In addition, you can also find me on the Chairshot Radio Network as myself, the aforementioned, there's an SAT word for you, Tony Acero of 411 Mania, and the co-hostesses with the mostesses, the wonderful Miss Liz Puglisi, as we present The Reaction every Monday night, or most Monday nights, at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, live on the Chairshot Radio Network. Also, I mentioned Rattledge and Broadcasting earlier. If you guys are into pro wrestling, I join Mark Rattledge and then a pair of Chris's, Sheehan and Bishop, Sheehan and Bailey, to do Impact Wrestling's Under Siege 2021 and then WrestleMania Backlash 2021. We have fucking zombies. Mr. Producer, Mr. Host, Mr. Anchor.
I remember going ahead and looking at the info for those episodes, so I was like, so is he going to be a replacement podsman? Anyway, yes, as usual, you can find me on Twitter, at Squid Sports Head. I haven't been in the mood to do for live tweeting recently because A, either games are on too late, games are not televised, or you know what, a little bit of bitterness going on. That's going to be lingering for the next few months. But if you're a fan of things other than live tweeting, asking for any kind of advice, or to see me start the occasional flame war or get into preliminary shenanigans, you can find me on Facebook at Erik Watkins. You know what to do. Search for the picture with the guy and sitting in the recliner next to the pile of laundry holding a glass of wine. But, and I will use this word again, as far as the aforementioned strict and thorough vetting process, if you were to slide into my DMs on Twitter, if you were to undergo that vetting process, if you were to be approved, you would gain a cavalcade, a cornucopia, if you will, of access to all of my different
Jesus.
A lot of SAT words.
Dark Twitter, Snapchat, occasionally Kick at times, Telegram, because that's really where it's at. OnlyFans content on there coming soon, so you'll be pleasantly surprised as many different budding careers continue. And like all plugs, this one brought to you by the fine folks at Rick's TNT LLC. Website and commercial coming soon. Tutoring and tax consultation services still available. Notary public and wedding officiating services available in the state of Florida.
Now you hit your line, John.
Barry hit the line.
You hit the line too soon. You were offside. You should know about offsides.
5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
You want to fight? I'll take 2 minutes in the box.
It's
or
5,
4 out of the last 4.5 to end a game and clinch a series.
It's 5 for fighting, actually. And I don't just mean that Superman means it's not easy being me. Help control the pet population and the producer population. Have your Randy Isbell spayed and neutered. Erik, get us out of here.
Yeah, I mean, granted, this is why my experiences in Vegas will always be better. We'll see you next time. And remember, life really is like a game show.